Hey, this is Christian Buckley, and I am here with Jeff Taper, Bill Bear, and Aaron Rimmer, and we're talking about SharePoint Conference North America. And Bill, maybe give us the background. What is this event all about happening in May?
Sure. So SharePoint Conference North America is May 19th through May 23rd. Conference kicks off on a Saturday with a great set of pre-conference workshops, concluding on a Thursday with post-conference workshops. For SharePoint Conference North America, it's a collaborative effort between ourselves and the producers who have brought to you great events such as Dev Intersection and SP Intersection. We've got a ton of sessions, both delivered by the community as well as by Microsoft. So there's going to be great practical guidance, great vision, strategy, roadmap, and more at this particular event. So, I'm pretty excited about getting the SharePoint community back together in Las Vegas. A SharePoint conference isn't only a place where you can build your knowledge, but it's also a place where you can build your network as well.
It's a great event. Jeff, what are you looking forward to? And maybe you can share some insight into, I know you can't get into detail of what you're going to be talking about in May, but what are you excited about at this event?
Yeah, I'm incredibly excited because, as Bill said, one of the things that makes SharePoint magical is the incredible community that comes together and networks, shares best practices, ideas, and that's always been sort of as important as the product. And so just having a focused event with that as the center is great to do again. And the other thing is, as we said at Ignite, part of the impetus was we've moved to this model of shipping all the time in the cloud, but the last 2 Mays, we took a step back to explain the updated strategy, the roadmap, what's coming, and people really loved that and said they wanted to attend. And so we said, why don't we combine those two things and have them do the same thing we've done the last couple of years, which is have a big May event where we talk about roadmap for SharePoint and OneDrive and how it connects to rest of Office and Teams and Yammer and so forth. And so we're really excited to do that. Now's the part of the product cycle where we're looking at slides and code and saying, is that going to be ready by May or not? Well, maybe we'll leave that one for, oh no, we'll bring that one in. And so I'm really looking forward to both things. One, sharing the news on what we've got, but more importantly, over a few days, talking to people about product details, best practices, and so forth.
And Aaron, what's kind of standing out to you? What are you most excited about this event?
It really is coming to the community. I don't have the tenure on the SharePoint conferences that Jeff and Bill have over the years, but over the past kind of 3 cycles, I've helped put together an orchestrator presence at whether it's Ignite or the future of SharePoint. We always get the questions, the community is so excited. How do I participate? How do I be part of that? And so this was really an opportunity to bring them in, but also go deeper. Some of the feedback we got was, it's great. I love to hear the vision and where you're going. I want more. I want more from Microsoft. I want more from our community. So this just seemed like a natural way to keep that rhythm going with all the releases and the information that's coming out and let our community shine and participate. So I'm super excited about having an in-person component to this year's May event.
And Bill and I were talking about that this is the 7th now dedicated SharePoint conference. And it's a little bit different with the community aspect to it, and that it's in parallel with the virtual conference. So I attended the first, I've been to all of them, but the first 2 were as an employee. And so I didn't get to see as much because I was with those first 2, like the Maidenbauer Center was working the hands-on lab most of my time there. But it was, even the energy that happened then. But what I always tell people about is, when I left Microsoft and went to an ISV, got back in the SharePoint space, went to that 2009 conference, some of my closest friends and confidants, the people that I reach out to and work with, I met at that conference through that networking. It was, an incredibly valuable to my career, to my company now, to have participated there. That you can't get by just going in and watching the on-demand videos. It's great to have those resources, but being there in person, there's nothing that that compares to that. Being there in person.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's right. And and we were excited about doing it, but to be honest, this was one where I think all of us were pleasantly surprised by the feedback in the last 18 months of people almost demanding it of us. People were banging on our doors and saying, you got to bring this back because you don't understand the magic of this is much the community, and doing things virtually is great, but we want to get together in person with people and talk about this stuff.
Well, I think that there's also, look, there's a lot of value to Ignite as a conference with all of the different Microsoft technologies that are there. And of course, you've got, Inspire for the business folks, for the, sales, marketing, and business development, that side of it, the partner conference. You've got Build that is for the developers. And then you have Ignite, which is really like the majority, like the IT pro and power users that attend those as well. But I have to say, with the Ignites, I've been to all of the Ignites since that was kind of consolidated, that the most energy happening at Ignite is around the SharePoint, content and booths in the expo hall.
That's by design.
But I mean, it's
really hard. Like, I don't want to say we worked harder than every other team at Microsoft, but no. But, we worked hard with the other teams at Microsoft so that we would have a lot of very relevant things to show. I think when you take any one piece of what we've done, like how Power Apps and Flow are revamping business solutions on SharePoint, how SharePoint integrates with Teams to bring conversations and content together, what we've done in communication sites in the SharePoint mobile app that really sort of blows people's minds about how rich a site they can create in minutes. We took the responsibility our community has given us with SharePoint, and we owed it to them to do a really kick-ass event with a lot of news, and it fed on itself. We were all blown away at the last Ignite, and here we are, ready to do a SharePoint conference.
Well, the fact that your team continues to, at the rate of innovation and all the excitement that's coming out, I mean, how can you really be surprised that there's that much energy? It was already a very vibrant community, and then you start doing some really cool things, and SharePoint really is cool again. Everybody, and it touches so many other products and services as well, and it's just an important technology. And it doesn't surprise me that we're having this standalone conference again, because there is just a volume of things that are unique to this audience, to this community.
Yeah, and I think that's been a great part of planning this one. Is I've had the opportunity to work across so many different teams in preparation for this event, to work with my counterparts in Microsoft Teams and with Yammer, and with those in Stream and Azure with Power Apps and Flow. So it's become more expansive, and SharePoint has become this great destination inside of Office 365. And if you look back at our SharePoint conferences, of days past, you would see we talk a lot about SharePoint and, some related technologies. We had spent some time on SQL and Azure, but, as we've grown, we've got a great set of partners across Microsoft that's really helping us, build this great product. And at the same time, it's helping grow our community as well, because there's just so much that you can do today, and the power is there, and that power is, both in the capability as well as the simplicity. So it's a really exciting time for SharePoint. And I think, May makes perfect sense getting us there.
Yeah. And I know that, oh, go ahead, Jeff. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah. One of the most interesting parts of getting ready for a SharePoint conference or Ignite has always been how to talk about SharePoint, because SharePoint does a lot of things for a lot of people. And as I've been thinking about this one coming up, we really can celebrate that SharePoint is the world's most popular and flexible content management system. It powers OneDrive for Business. It powers document collaboration inside Office. It powers rich Teams experiences inside Microsoft Teams, business apps, award-winning intranets. Yeah. Somebody just sent us a link the other day that the Nielsen Norman report came out, and yet again, sort of the overwhelming share of those. And so it is this sort of catalyst product. If you sort of step back, most of the world's information is being digitized, and that belongs in a content management system, and that's going to project out to a bunch of different experiences. And we're releasing new stuff there every day. Just today we did an update, the blog post I did on the tech community about iOS support in OneDrive and Office that's powered by SharePoint, of course. So we're, as you can tell, all Bill and Aaron and I are like When will it be May already? We're ready.
Well, we're going to be sharing, I know in the run up into this is the Road to SharePoint Conference North America. We're going to be sharing some of the things as as we build up towards that, the things that could be talked about publicly. And we want people to go out to, SharePointNA.com and register if you've not yet signed up. I know we're almost sold out on sponsorships, an incredible response from sponsors. So if you've got a company or an ISV or an SI want to have a booth there, you better jump on that. It's going to sell out very quickly.
Yeah, as you know, Ignite is sold out for us, WPC and Build and past SharePoint conferences. So we really don't dilly-dally. We all promise the product team is going to show up in force and bring our A game like we've never brought it before. But, we hope that people will go ahead and register today so that they can get a spot.
Definitely. And Bill, I know you did a blog post where you went through like the 7 reasons to attend. I'll share the link as well, but maybe you run through those really quick.
Yeah, I was just kind of thinking back and reflecting on past conferences, and I thought to myself, hey, you know what, this will be 7 in a long series of conferences, 2006, 8, 9, 11, 12, 14. So, I kind of looked back and said, let me come up with one reason for each of these conferences as to why you should attend. And, at the very top, I put community at the top of my list. Number 1 is community. A SharePoint conference it's almost like a family or a high school reunion. You get to reconnect with the people that and you get to connect with new people. And that's the great part about the SharePoint community. It continues to grow. Every time I go, I run into people who have been there since 2006, who stood in Maidenbower, or who were there in 2008 when we were talking about FAST. And, that was our big moment for that. And then, you get to meet new people who literally have just started with SharePoint. It's just exciting really to hear from those people who are experiencing their first day with SharePoint, or, those people who discovered SharePoint through Azure Functions or, another area. So it's great to talk to these people and see, how did they get involved? So I think there's reason number 1. And then number 2 is obviously the opportunity to learn, the practical knowledge our community delivers, as well as, what we're delivering on behalf of Microsoft. And, Aaron's team just added another pre-conference workshop for OneDrive to it as well, with a ton of great speakers. So, we're constantly growing this thing, but yeah, community is definitely number 1.
Let me get number 3 for you, because that's one of my favorites. So in addition to being responsible for OneDrive product marketing across our consumer and commercial business, my team's also responsible for customer evidence and stories. And so number 3 on the list was, real customers, real deployments, and real experience. And it's really an opportunity to learn from your peers, an opportunity to showcase those folks.
Yeah.
So, last year, we think around some of the folks we had on stage, everyone from Lowe's to Statoil, really great applications of the technologies tools that are coming to fruition. So I think that's a great number 3, Bill. And, if we have customers that are interested in sharing and telling those stories, give me a holler as well, because we'd love to amplify those.
Yeah.
Yeah. And 4, just around, driving SharePoint adoption. I mean, that is a huge aspect of it. If you are, look, any kind of technology deployment is going to have, some issues. If people don't understand how the technology fits with their business systems, their business processes, and plugs into the way that they work. I mean, I talk a lot about, the cultural impacts of deployments, how important that is. And so this is a great way to, again, hear from these experts from Microsoft, from these practitioners, and I guarantee you that there is somebody there that's speaking, that's there sharing their backgrounds, who have experienced what you're going through. And so it's a great way to go and connect and get some ideas about how you can increase adoption and engagement within your platform.
Yeah, so we definitely made it was a concerted effort to make sure that we had the right set of content to really help people get the most out of SharePoint, really helping those that are tasked with using SharePoint on a day-to-day basis and making them successful and driving that adoption across the organization. And then number 6 is probably the most important one, which is all on Jeff, which is roadmap, vision, and strategy.
We're working on it.
Yeah, no pressure.
When we got back from Ignite, we had the European SharePoint conference, we had a bunch of feedback, and we had a bunch of ideas and things we knew that were coming down the pipe from Microsoft, and we had a big team meeting in December to rally up and said, okay, it's what we did the last 2 years in a row. We sort of got together 6 months before the May event, wrote down a list of things we want to go talk about, and the team is well along on that. And so I think, you'll see a good mix of things that people have asked us for that are very feedback driven, and hopefully you'll see some things that surprise you, and you will want to be there in person in Vegas to see those things. It won't be quite the same to see them remotely. And so I think we've done a good job in the last couple of years of responding and surprising, and we're aiming for that again.
Definitely. And I say go back on number 5 too, find the right SharePoint solution. As the non-Microsoft person here on this panel, it's something that I always recommend, whether you're attending a SharePoint Saturday with 6 or 7 vendors that are there, but go talk to the partners. Be aware of the different solutions that are out there. And again, it's you're looking at people that day in, day out, they're solving very specific problems and have solutions that can sometimes fill a very important gap that you have in your deployment. And so it's just great just to learn and to network and then talk to these partners about their solutions.
Yeah, that's a great point, Christian, both for the sponsors and the people showing up with sessions and booths. That part of the magic of the ecosystem is we provide a very horizontal platform with SharePoint, and very deep partners who have a range of specialties build solutions or governance practices or workflow solutions on top that are really the last mile to completing what customers need. And we were stunned at how quickly, as you guys know, the response from partners to show up to this event and talk to customers, because it's such a great forum. And we can't do it all in the base platform and the Microsoft Cloud, and so the partner ecosystem does an amazing job of completing the solution. And I'm excited to see every one of these events, and it was true in SharePoint conferences in the past. I'd go walk the booths and peek in a few sessions, and I'm blown away and surprised by the things going on. It was true at Ignite and the European SharePoint conference. And so I'm looking forward to seeing the partner perspectives on our new technologies and their products, be it workflow, governance, and so forth.
And then the last one, Bill, that you had around, of course, you've talked about, the workshops and the labs and all of the other things. There's going to be a lot of hands-on experience, opportunities as well. And so that is a great resource to go. Plan on going there. And it's a training resource as much as it is just learning and discovery of what's out there in the community. So,
yeah, and as I mentioned with the workshops, and I mentioned Aaron's team just added a new OneDrive workshop. It's a great opportunity to really get that depth, versus the breadth ahead of the conference, and it's a great opportunity too to have a more intimate experience with Aaron's team and our leads on the SharePoint and OneDrive side, to be able to interact with them through a workshop type setting, to where it's less formal and you can go back and forth and really have constructive conversations, unlike a session where there's a lot of people in there and the speaker doesn't have the same luxury in respect to time and ability to really have those one-on-one conversations that you can have in those workshops to help you succeed with technology. So the workshops are really about helping you succeed and helping you connect more deeply with the community, as well as with us at Microsoft that are helping facilitate some of those workshops. So it's a great opportunity there. And then labs is another thing, the ability to do these labs and gain that hands-on experience in addition to the content that comes throughout the course of the week.
Yeah. Well, gentlemen, I know there's a lot. We're going to be covering different things that are happening over the next 15 more weeks of these videos as we get closer to the event. But Jeff, Aaron, Bill, thanks a lot for your time. And for those that have not yet registered, please go to you have something else? Anything to add?
No.
All right. But please go out to SharePointNA for NorthAmerica.com and register today. And we'll see you in Vegas.
See you there.
See you there.